Well, finally, here we are. After 2 years of waiting, the new Adventure Time spin-off is right around the corner and I could not be more excited. In case you hadn't heard, Fionna and Cake is a spin-off based on the gender-swapped counterparts of the Adventure Time cast. There were 5 episodes in the main series that centered around these characters, and the universe was depicted as mainly just literally a gender-swapped world, nothing more to it. But with this new series, the crew took the exciting opportunity to actually expand upon these characters and make them into their own rather than just alternate universe versions of Finn and Jake and the rest. Well, it's been a few weeks since the trailer to our show dropped, and I've had a while to sit with it, so it's time to make some theories. The trailer makes multiple references to characters we already know and love. For example, right off the bat, they turned BMO into an alarm clock, Cake is a regular cat and not a stretchy one that can talk. We see Wild Berry Prince and Marshall Lee and Prince Gumball, and they're all living in a human world rather than the magical land of Ooh. Fionna is unhappy with her life and says Cake seems unhappy too, which leads me to believe that there's something not right about the world they're in. It needs to be more magical. What many others have also pointed out is that there are multiple glitches in reality, like misplaced bricks or upside down traffic cones. Definitely something going on here. Yeah, well, we all already know that, Jim. We've seen this trailer a million times. I know, I wanted to make a video about it sooner, but I didn't get around to it. But I have lots of thoughts about it now that we've had the trailer for so long. I've come up with a theory of my own about how the first episode of the show is going to play out, and I'd be interested in going back to this video to see how much I got correct and what parts I got totally wrong. So let's go through a few parts of the trailer now. Episode 1, I believe, will start with Fionna waking up, as shown at the beginning of the trailer. We're going to be going through her boring workday as a city tour guide. But while this is happening, she's not only bored, but she realizes Cake seems to be bored as well. After work, she goes to Gumball's cafe for a break, which is where she tells him, and probably Marshall, about what's going on with Cake. The next day, she takes Cake to the vet, but she ends up running away, which is where we'll see this part where Fionna is chasing after her. Turns out, Cake is drawn to something magical. And it's a portal. They end up in their first alternate universe, where they fight stuff, and then are given the task to go to Ooh to find someone who can help them, who turns out to be the former Ice King himself, Simon Petrikov. The episode ends before they get to Ooh, but here's where I think the next one might start. We finally get to see Simon, who was just going about his day living in the new human city, hanging out at his house, maybe having a few existential crises. Meanwhile, Fionna and Cake have landed in Ooh, but they have no idea how to actually find Simon. Well, there's this one part that leads them to believe that this little kid is going to actually have quite a big role. I think she's a Fionna fan because somehow the Fionna and Cake stories were published. You can see evidence of this in this scene where one of the books is literally just in the garbage. The girl is there too, being shut out by Simon, which makes me think that this is how it's going to play out. The Fionna fan leads Fionna and Cake to Simon's house. Maybe she knows where he lives because she was following him as he walked home. But Simon doesn't want to hear about it because, well, I wouldn't want to hear about a cringe story I wrote when I had lost my mind for 1,000 years either. So he shuts her out, but then he sees that she has brought Fionna and Cake along with her. The real Fionna and Cake. And that is when he decides to help them out. Again, this is just a theory. It could go completely differently. I don't know. I'm just going off what the trailer gave us, which is pretty vague if you want me to be honest. I actually think that it's a good thing, because I'd love to be surprised by this series, and we still know so little about it even with a trailer that I know I'm going to be. Now, as for Simon's plot in this show, I and many others have a feeling that it's going to be about him coming to terms with age, and just life in general, considering the fact that he now has a white streak in his hair and just looks pretty unhappy overall. I'm very interested to see his contrast with Fionna, who seems to be really excited about the idea of using magic, while he himself is suffering from the many years he spent imprisoned in his own mind due to magic and how it ended up making him lose the one he loved most in the world. that's pretty much all I have for today. I had a list of predictions I thought were quite possible to happen in the show, but when I look back on it, I realized that I've pretty much talked about them in this video already. I wanted to do the obvious thing and also say that I have a feeling Betty will somehow be involved, either in the form of flashbacks or Gold Betty or both. All I know is that if this does happen, I'm not going to be prepared to get sad. After all, we do know that this is going to be Tom Kenny's most emotional role so far. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm very excited about this series, and there's a high chance I'll be back to talk about theories and such when the first 2 episodes drop in a couple of weeks. But until then, peace out.